We're back.
Sorry about that. I don't. Your computer. Usually, it's my end that's gets bad Wi-Fi.
I don't think it's internet. I think there's something wrong with my computer. It just like shut down. And that's the second time it's happened in like the last like 4 or 5 episodes. So
Attaboy.
I don't know what it is, but I don't know. We're back.
We are back.
I don't remember. We were talking about the White Sox.
We were talking about the White Sox bullpen.
They're getting pieces here and there that aren't really exciting, but they're improving a lot. So
yeah, expect them to be big time contenders. So
good for you, Chicago. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The White Sox don't have a jingle.
That was fast. We're gonna keep it in the AL Central. And what are the Twins doing? The Twins are just all over the place. It seems like multiple trades went down. We'll start off with the Josh Donaldson.
Can we talk about the Sonny Gray thing first?
Yeah. So Sonny Gray. We'll start with Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray was traded from the Reds to the Twins in exchange for Chase Petty, who I believe he's a first rounder, and he's the flamethrower. So
he's good too.
He's going to be really good. So good for good for the Reds, but at the same time, the Reds they're going to be awful. What is that picture? It looks so weird.
If you're on YouTube, there you go. That's the new Twins look right there. I mean, hey, it's Sonny. It was Sonny Gray's little first photo shoot in a Twins uniform, and Byron Buxton was just like, "Nope, not happening."
Well, whatever.
Don't you just love baseball?
The Twins. I mean, the second place spot in the AL Central is wide open. I mean, obviously the White Sox are the favorites to win the AL, but then the Guardians and
still
the Royals and the Tigers. So, who knows? I don't really understand what the Twins are doing. They're supposedly in the race for Trevor Story, so we shall see. But we're gonna go back to the first trade they made. They traded for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and got rid of Mitch Garver, who was sent to the Texas Rangers. So the Texas Rangers do now have a catcher. So a good power bat for them. So what the Rangers will do. Good for them. And then went on to flip Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in exchange for Josh Donaldson. They traded Josh Donaldson, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to the Yankees for I don't
Gio
remember.
Urshela and Josh
Gio
Donaldson.
Urshela and Gary Sanchez.
Gary Sanchez. I'm struggling.
So interesting what the Twins are doing. I don't really know. It will be interesting to see how good or bad they are this year. So if they're just a middle of the road team or what they wind up doing, they're supposedly still in the market for pitching as well. So, it's good to at least see a team like the Twins on wanting to compete. So, which is what you want to see. Obviously, that's kind of what the CBA with the new lottery did to make teams a little bit more competitive. And obviously the 12-team new 12-team postseason. So, the Twins are always kind of weird. They'll win 103 games and then they'll go out and win 59 games. So you never know with the Twins. So,
I don't know what to make of this either. Like Mitch Garver to the Rangers, they no longer have to platoon with Sam Huff and Jonah Heim, and I believe there's one other guy mixed in with that. But now they have a full-time catcher who can file rake. Mitch Garver is fantastic.
Very underrated.
Mm-hmm. When he's healthy, he is one of the best offensive catchers in baseball, and was quietly really, really good last year as well in his small sample size.
Yeah,
I think he almost had like a 2 WAR in like 80 games, something like that.
The AL West is going to be really interesting with the Rangers, the Mariners, the Astros, and the Angels. Excuse me.
Can't forget about the Angels.
I always
And
forget
the-
about them because they
and then-
always disappoint me.
And then the A's are an absolute dumpster fire, which,
Yeah, they.
to be fair, I mean, there was like a lot of talks about like teams have to be competitive after this new CBA. And then all of a sudden, the Reds and the A's are just cleaning house, doing exactly what, the players were
interested
not wanting
To see if
have
they
happen.
trade Matt Olson. I mean, they're still obviously
Chapman, you mean?
Or excuse me, yeah, not
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think
Matt
I think
Olson's in my
Olson's
brain.
gone.
He's in my brain. He's like infused in my brain the last like day and a half. So, but excuse me, Matt Chapman, and then Frankie Montas and Sean Manaea, and then even Roman Laureano. So, I'm very interested to see who they build around. Oh, and not to mention Sean Murphy as well. So the fact that, I mean, that team had some studs and now they're cleaning house, and
Yeah, it sucks. A's
sucks.
fans are really, really good fans. The A's fans,
yes.
They don't deserve this, and they also don't deserve to lose their team. I mean, because they're the fans of the organization are fantastic. It's the ownership.
Yep.
And also their stadium, and like the city of Oakland is just terrible. But their fan base is still very loyal. It's very, very strong, and it sucks. They were on the brink of competing for a playoff spot. They had a lot of, of course, now, like as Braves fans, we're happy that, to have Matt Olson. But, for Oakland, it's just, when the Braves traded away the Uptons, Kimbrel, Simmons, and they just cleaned house, that was very tough. But, A's have so many superstar players, Olson, Chapman, or at least they had Olson, Bassett, as well, Manaea, Laureano, and they had Semien a couple years ago. They had a good team, and now they're just cleaning house, and it's not good for the game. It's bad for Oakland. It's just a bad look for baseball.
DFA owners,
not just
outside
Liberty
of
Media.
Steve Cohen. Steve Cohen doesn't count though.
Steve Cohen is the only exception, and he is the best owner in baseball.
Yeah.
If baseball just had 30 Steve Cohens, the league would be absolutely insane and just crazy and super entertaining.
It would be so fun to watch.
I mean, could you imagine like the Braves
the bidding wars for free agents? That would be nuts.
I mean, I tell you, Freddie Freeman was, or if Steve Cohen was one of the Braves, Freddie Freeman would 100% be a Brave for the rest of his career.
Oh,
he would make it happen.
He would have signed an extension like a year ago.
He would be getting $50 million a year.
He would be like 6 years, $300 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's Steve Cohen. What do you expect?
Steve Cohen's Steve Cohen. Let him do what he wants.
And I respect it, but the Mets still met it last year. So
yeah. So sad for Oakland fans.
We feel for you.
We've been there before. We have 9 years ago now.
And they also went through a rebuild and we're finally back to competing, and then they just rebuilt again. It's just like, could you imagine as Braves fans in 2018 if we just cleaned house, traded away Freddie and Acuna, Albies, just to, you develop these players, you get them up, and then you refuse to pay them, so you just clean house again and start this process all over.
It's a circle. It's just a big loop, and it doesn't work.
That's horrible. It's horrible.
Get new owners. Get new. The Billy Bean thing's always interesting, but it's not even Billy Bean. It's the ownership. It's awful. So.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who. I know, like, I've seen the name of the A's owner before, but I couldn't think of it off the top of my head. So,
and then like Bob Castellini or something with the Reds. So I think it's embarrassing.
It is, especially for two cities that
have such a rich history.
Yeah, so it's so passionate. I mean, you saw the Cincinnati Bengals went to the Super Bowl this year, and how passionate their fan base for sports is. So passionate, and it's a shame that they can't pack that ballpark because they don't win and they don't pay their players, and Same thing with Oakland. So,
and it kind of scares me. Like, what are they going to do with Joey Votto? Are they still going to let him finish out his career in Cincinnati? They better.
I hope
But
so.
also, like, Joey Votto probably doesn't want to end his career in Cincinnati if they're not going to be a competitive team. So
yeah, I can understand it.
Next move. What's the next move?
Next move. We should talk about.
There's a lot to talk about.
We'll talk about. We'll keep it in Cincinnati, and the trades they did make. And this came yesterday. Actually, broke while we were recording. Yes. Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez are headed to Seattle in exchange for, I think it was Justin Dunn, Brandon Jake Williamson, Fraley. And Jake Fraley.
Yep. And a player to be named later. Isn't that exciting?
That's always exciting. So, the Mariners, they get their outfielder, they get their third baseman or DH. I don't know what the exact plan is here for the Mariners, but the Reds obviously cleaning house, as we've said, and a guy in Jesse Winker that was an all-star. Was he an all-star this year or last year? Or was
this year? It was this year.
It was this year. He was early MVP candidate. He was an early MVP candidate through like the first 2-3 months. So, it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, a shame for Reds fans. We feel for them. So, but we also wish Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez the best of luck. Hopefully the Mariners can make the playoffs, so break the drought for the first time in 21 years. So this year. So
Jesse Winker is one of the most underrated hitters in baseball. When he's healthy, at least. Defensively, he's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. I mean, Mariners are 100% going to use him as a DH. He's got stone hands out there in the outfield. So, he couldn't catch water if he fell off a boat. So, I know it's normally hit water if I made it up on the spot. So I'm sorry if that was bad. But career 888 OPS for Jesse Winker, a career OPS plus of 128. Last year was by far his best season, hit 305 with a 949 OPS, a 556 slugging, a 394 on base percentage, walked a lot, 53 walks compared to 75 strikeouts and 485 plate appearances. 71 RBIs, 24 homers, and was a first-time All-Star. So when he's healthy, Jesse Winker is one of the best hitters in baseball, really. Just all around, he's a very good, very, very good player.
Yeah.
Just not defensively.
Yeah, just not defensively. Let's see.
Also, we talked about the Mets a little bit earlier. They also signed Adam Ottavino yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
A 1-year, $4 million deal plus $1 million performance bonuses for the 36-year-old right-hander. Really, last year was kind of disappointing. 2020 wasn't great, but in 2018 and 2019, one of the best relievers in baseball. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. They also got Mike Montgomery on a minor league deal today. Not going to get too much into that because it's kind of boring, but they're targeting pitching. So,
yeah. And we'll go some of the more, reliever moves. Division rival, Philadelphia Phillies signed Brad Hand to a 1-year deal. So
he sucks. So
he's interesting.
A few years ago was one.
The Phillies bullpen sucks, so I'm not too worried about it. So
I think he's going to fit right in because he's been atrocious the last couple of years. Even though 2018, 2019, he was one of the best closers in baseball. He fell off so fast.
He really did.
So it's not like the Phillies pitching coach is really going to help matters much because everyone who goes to Philadelphia, besides Zach Wheeler, that's where pitchers just go to die. Not to die, but like fall off.
Fall off a cliff.
Fall off a cliff. There you go.
A lot of smaller moves, so not a ton left here. Nico Goodrum to the Houston Astros. Very solid player. Said he's with the Astros, but, Can
Good
play a
for
lot
him.
of different positions, very similar to like Ari Andrianza. So,
And
you know,
he's also a local kid. He graduated from Fayette County High School in Fayetteville.
mhm. So
Shout out to Fayette County.
shout out Fayette County. So
If you're listening for Fayette County, let us know.
A lot of then Jose Iglesias signs 1 year deal with the Rockies. Weird kind of deal. They're in on Chris Bryant too. I don't really similar to the Twins. I don't really know what the Rockies are doing. I don't really know. Maybe they're signing Chris Bryant to a 1 year deal and then maybe trade him. I don't really know. But
we're missing one big thing that we really haven't talked about yet. But Andrew McHugh has gone to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yep.
I don't. They're in agreement, but it's not official yet, so we don't know the details on it. But good for Kutch. Obviously, on the back end of his career, he's 35 years old right now. Turns 36 in October. Former MVP, won MVP in 2013. 5-time All-Star, has not been an All-Star, however, since 2015. But spent the last 3 years in Philadelphia. Last year was quietly pretty good. 27 home runs and 80 RBIs. Only 222 average on OPS plus of 109, 77 or 778 OPS, 444 slugging. Obviously a dip at batting average quite a bit, but the power started to come back quite a bit. So his career highest in home runs is 31, and that came in 2012. And then it's only 4 less than his career high in home runs. So quietly, quite a good season for Andrew McHugh. So it'll be interesting to see what he makes next year with Milwaukee.
Yeah. Be interesting to see him. Obviously, he's been back in Pittsburgh, but facing Pittsburgh 18 times a year. So 9 of which will be in Pittsburgh, or 9 or 10, whatever. So, be interesting to see that as well.
Also, Red Sox signing Jake Diekman as well, and I think they also got they got another lefty, didn't they? Jake Diekman, and I believe that they got another left-handed. Oh, Matt Strom.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's right. So a couple left-handed relief pitchers. Red Sox looking to improve on their bullpen, which, I'm not really. I didn't really follow the Red Sox too closely last year, but they're obviously targeting a lot of bullpen guys. I don't know if they had a lot of bullpen troubles last year, but cool. And also something pretty recently announced: Lance McCullers Jr. of the Astros is going to miss the start of the 2022 regular season. I guess it's the same injury that was kept him out of the World Series. So I don't remember exactly what it was. Flexor tendon in his pitching arm.
Interesting.
But he's not dealing with the UCL issue, so he's not going to need Tommy John for now, unless there's something else going on.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we'll keep it on the topic of injuries. But Kirby Yates was also said he could be back in August, in that bullpen. So, something just keep it on as a Braves fan. Obviously, Kirby Yates in 2019 was an absolute stud, and we already have a really good bullpen. So just adding another arm to that equation is going to be ridiculous. So, to see him back and hopefully pitching to what we know he can would be outstanding. So
there's also something that I haven't really I didn't even know about this, to be honest, but I'm looking at MLB trade rumors right now. Jose Martinez, you may remember him as a first baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals a few years back. He signed with the Acereros de Monclova of the Mexican League. They also got Josh Reddick, Keon Broxton, and Pablo Sandoval in recent weeks. So
interesting.
Kind of interesting stuff. They're kind of got a little dynasty going, and Monclova, I guess. I don't know what Monclova is. I assume it's a city
Probably.
down there in Mexico. So good for Jose, good for Josh, and good for Pablo and Keon, I guess. Is there anything else? Mariners got Mike Ford on a minor league deal as well. Jock Peterson is going crazy on social media as usual. And if you've been following Jock Peterson, he is kind of teasing everybody. And Jack Flaherty's undergoing a medical evaluation again on his throwing shoulder. So,
yeah,
hopefully he could be he was one of those guys that back in 2018 and 2019, people thought he was one of the best pitchers in baseball. But really a lot of injuries and a lot of issues going on with Jack Flaherty. And hopefully, you know, the evaluation goes well and hopefully doesn't reveal, you know, something significant. So,
yeah. Hopefully, we want to see him. You know, obviously we're not big Cardinals fans. I don't really like the Cardinals, but hopefully Jack Flaherty can get back on the field soon because great pitcher and love watching him pitch when he's not facing the Braves. So,
you know, there are some other like minor deals here. Like Jake Lamb, our old buddy, old pal from spring training last year. And if you remember, Jake Lamb had a very good spring last year, and we were actually talking about possibly starting him over Austin Riley, and thank goodness we didn't do that. It feels crazy to even think about that, but Austin Riley was such an unknown last year, but before he really just took off. So,
yeah.
But Jake Lamb to the Dodgers will make $1.5 million if he makes the big league team, according to John Heyman. So that's probably incorrect, but
anything John Heyman says, don't believe, unless it's from Passan or maybe Bob Nightingale and Ken Rosenthal. Those are the only three guys that I really truly trust. Or in the Braves case, the Braves just released the news on their own. They don't have any reporters. They beat the reporters to it. They always seem to. Well, outside of Matt Olson, but Jeff Passan's always on it. So hard to be mad about Jeff Passan breaking the news.
And how about the Pirates making some moves today? Dan Vogelbach and Heath Hembry.
Let's go. Making some big time moves.
A power hitting first baseman and a decent reliever. And Heath Hembry.
Yeah.
They're trying to win the NL Central now.
Basically, I mean, might as well.
I mean, they're doing a little bit of stuff that it doesn't make too much sense, but maybe Vogelbach's home runs in the Allegheny will attract some more fans to go spend money on tickets. Who knows?
Possibly.
That's all. I can't really speak for myself because I'm not a Pirates fan, but it'll be interesting to see what they do there. Yeah. Something to keep an eye on. The one reason to watch Pirates baseball next year. There's not much to really watch there.
Not really.
There's a lot of rumors flying around about Freddie Freeman and Seiya Suzuki as well as Kyle Schwarber. Let's just talk about Freddie Freeman rumors for a second. There's a lot of teams that are in the mix, and the Padres just recently entered the discussion. So, where do you think he's going to wind up?
Where do I think he will, or where do I want him to wind up?
We all want him to go to Toronto, but where do you think he's going to go?
The Dodgers, sadly. I think that's where it's gonna. I think it's inevitable. I think it's inevitable at this point because there are only so many teams that are going to be able to pay him what he wants and deserves. And sadly, one of those teams is the Dodgers, and they don't really necessarily need a first baseman because they got Muncy, but Muncy can also play second base. So, it's inevitable at this point. I don't want to see it, but that's where I do predict him to go. And it's going to be painful to watch and see him in a Dodgers uniform.
That's going to be. I think he's going to go to LA too, but I really hope he doesn't, because he did grow up an Angels fan. Okay, and the Angels and Dodgers do not typically get along.
Now, the Padres are also in on it. Obviously, West Coast, another West Coast team. California, close to home, or what he calls home. So, I would much rather see him on the Padres than the Dodgers, even though, we'd probably play the Padres at some point in the playoffs eventually a lot, but much rather see him on the Padres than the Dodgers. So Padres, make it happen, because anywhere is better than the Dodgers. Anywhere.
Or the Mets.
But
the Mets aren't really in on him. So
yeah, nobody in the NL East is really in on him. Maybe the Phillies, but I don't think the Phillies are really in on him.
Yeah, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Rays, and so basically everyone except for the Orioles in the AL East they're all in on Freddie Freeman, which honestly I wouldn't mind him going to any of those teams. I would prefer Toronto. That's my top choice for Freddie, especially considering he has some Canadian roots.
Yeah,
and also the Blue Jays are just a likable team. So
I wish Stuart Sternberg would just man up and pay Freddie, because I would love to see him. I mean, not necessarily in Tropicana Field, but be able to chance to go watch Freddie Freeman play when we're either in Florida or whatever the reason, just to go see Freddie play. So, but I doubt it happens. The Rays never do. But could you imagine that the Rays actually pay somebody? They paid Wander Franco, but imagine the Rays actually paid somebody. Imagine.
So I'm just going to mention a couple other familiar faces real quick. So starting with Dan Winkler, he's going to the Texas Rangers on a minor league deal. Ryan Lavarnway to the Tigers on a minor league deal, along with Chase Anderson. That's about it. But things were overall pretty quiet today. It was a pretty quiet day in terms of free agency. So,
yeah.
There was a lot also before the whole lockout thing, and we probably need to revisit those at some point and give our season predictions at some point. But obviously, that will come after we know where Freddie Freeman goes and where Kyle Schwarber goes, Michael Conforto, Eddie Rosario, Kenley Jansen, Nick Castellanos, Carlos Correa. There's a lot of names out there that still have yet to sign. So it'll be interesting to see. I've seen that the Astros are making a strong push to try and re-sign Carlos Correa. So that would be interesting. Not really.
Yeah. Not really, but
because I think Carlos Correa is kind of the villain of Major League Baseball, and the Astros are the team of the villains. So
I would just laugh if he goes to LA or the Yankees. It'd be so awkward. I mean, could you imagine him on the Yankees? I mean, Garrett Cole
with Josh Donaldson.
With Josh Donaldson. I mean,
that beef.
that whole situation. Apparently, they squashed their beef. I don't believe it, but whatever. That's the thing. But Correa with the Yankees, and then Garrett Cole and Josh Donaldson. That would be some kind of team chemistry. That would be some kind of talk about a clubhouse.
Well, while they're at it, they should go out and try to trade for Trevor Bauer.
Facts.
Because Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer were teammates back in the day, and they did not get along at all, and they actually hate each other.
They hate each other.
Make it happen, and that would be. I would love to watch the Yankees.
Cashman just doesn't care. He just says, let's just assemble a team full of just everybody that hates each other.
It sounds like the Padres to me.
True.
Padres' team chemistry last year just did not go over well, but they got Bob Melvin now, so I think that'll really help out the Padres next year. So I think we've named almost every single team in the entire in all of Major League Baseball today. Maybe not the Marlins, but they haven't done anything. So we still have yet to really. Also, I was kind of just like scrolling through Twitter yesterday or a couple days ago, and I saw something about Buck Showalter, and I was just like, I had completely forgotten that he was the Mets manager now.
Yeah.
Is that happening to anybody else? Let us know. If like there's,
I feel like it definitely is. Like the people that signed before the lockout, unless it was like a big type name like Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Marcus Stroman,
Jan Gomes.
Yeah. Like some of those guys that signed before the lockout, I'm gonna be like, oh, I forgot it's gonna be opening day and be like, oh yeah, he's on that team. Oh yeah, I forgot that.
And that happens to me basically like even without a lockout. I'm just like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And then, but I mean, even more so now that we had 3.5 months with nothing going on, and then it's like, oh yeah, this guy's, and now then you had a week to get, now guys are in spring training, and you're like, oh yeah, he's on the team.
Thanks, Manfred.
DFA
Manfred. Hey, we gotta get that in too. Anyways, I think I'm kind of surprised, but I think we got through basically everything, unless we completely forgot about something.
I don't think so. I think we got everything.
I think like outside of Matt Olson, the biggest thing going on that's happened in Major League Baseball is the Josh Donaldson trade, and I think we didn't really touch on it too much, but it's kind of self-explanatory. The Yankees, who have been looking for that third baseman since basically A-Rod retired, that consistent third baseman. And they finally found it in Josh Donaldson, power hitting third baseman that us Braves fans are probably pretty familiar with. And then they got their shortstop too, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who I saw a lot of people thinking about Josh Donaldson without facial hair and thinking that would be super weird, but Isaiah Kiner-Falefa without facial hair, that looks 10 times weirder.
It was really weird.
I mean, he looks like he's straight out of middle school. I mean, tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
I mean, he looks like a little David Exton, little 5'6", 150-pound guy,
Hey, yeah. I'm interested to see how good Isaiah Kiner-Falefa does in New York and how he's going to handle the pressure.
Last year, first half, he was really good. He was tearing the cover off the ball. Not really in the power department, but I think at one point he led the American League in hits. And Anthony Rizzo back to the Yankees. Yeah. Wow.
Interesting.
But that's John Heyman, so it's probably not true. But I mean, actually, no, he only covers the Yankees and Mets, so it probably is true.
Probably.
That is breaking news.
23 seconds ago.
All right, Anthony Rizzo back to the Yankees. I'm glad we had technical difficulties, or else this would have happened a couple minutes after we stopped recording. So Anthony Rizzo back to the Yankees. We're talking about the Yankees right when this broke. So
Yankees officially out on Freeman, if they were even in it. I don't really know, but
true.
So I guess that leaves Red Sox, Rays, Blue Jays, and Dodgers. So
and the Royals.
I bet.
And then Padres. Padres, of course. They were kind of new to the party.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Padres, yes.
So Anthony Rizzo, I think I think that if the Yankees were out on Freddie Freeman, Anthony Rizzo was 100% that guy. They have Luke Voit, which I really feel like they really just gave up on Luke Voit. I don't really agree with it. I think that Luke Voit would be a great first baseman for many Major League Baseball teams. But they clearly like Anthony Rizzo, who's a very, with a short porch, it's a great fit. So,
yeah, I expect him to have a pretty good year. He did solid last year, but I expect him to be really good with that short porch this year. And, I guess it'll be interesting to see that, if the Yankees do pay for somebody now, it'll be if they go out and get a big name or not. So Yeah, it's official. Passon just tweeted it, so or retweeted
Passon.
retweeted
Passon.
Jesse Rogers tweet. So is official, pending a physical.
You know, like Passon is the only guy I'm like, completely trust. Really.
Yeah.
Passon. You gotta love Jeff Passon.
Gotta love him.
Honestly, like, I don't know how anyone could possibly be a better reporter than Jeff Passon is. I think it's just like everything he says is just to the point. It's like he's not wrong about anything. And he doesn't really say anything until it's official.
Yeah. Jeff Passon's just the GOAT. He's that guy. So
and he broke the Matt Olson news. And he broke the news that the lockout was over. He's just a man.
Getting hacked. He got hacked. He got hacked and announced the lockout ending all within 6 hours of each other. So that doesn't show you how good of a reporter is. I don't know what does.
Well, he got his account back.
So I think that about wraps it up for the most part.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by SeatGeek.
It is. So. SeatGeek. Shout out SeatGeek.
Shout out to SeatGeek. Use promo code Braves News, all one word, all lowercase. Use that promo code Braves News. Get $20 off your first purchase of $50 or more. Go see the Braves on opening day on April 7th against the Cincinnati Reds, who are going to absolutely be terrible. So there's a good chance the Braves are going to win. Get your first look at Matt Olson in a Braves uniform and see that beautiful swing of his, because I'm going to be completely honest. The Oakland A's are not have not really been like a really interesting team to watch, but Matt Olson was like the reason why I ever watched anything Oakland Athletics related, because that swing was it's just amazing. I think it'd
be nice to see it in a Braves uniform.
It will be very nice. I know he's not Freddie Freeman, but he's darn close. So, and he's also younger.
Yeah.
So go get your first look at Matt Olson in Braves uniform. Go see him in person. Get your tickets, or you could use it on a parking permit because they're expensive too. Use promo code Braves News. Get $20 off. Helps you out. Helps me out. It's a win-win. Go do it.
Go do it.
Anyways, let's get a walloped in, shall we?
Let's do it.
So this one comes from August 28th, 2019. Who is this, Luke? This is my birthday. This is my birthday.
Yeah, I was gonna say happy birthday to whenever this was. What year?
2019. This was my 18th birthday. I became an adult on this day. We were in Toronto.
Birthday. I am gonna go with Josh Donaldson.
No, this was not Josh Donaldson.
Ronald Acuna.
Nope.
Nick Markakis.
Nope.
Ozzy Albies.
No.
Dansby.
No. If you're guessing along at home, someone's got it at home right now, or wherever they may be on the road. Something. I'll give you a small hint. He also hit the very first Braves home run of 2019.
Enter Inciarte. Oh.
No.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say first home run at Truist Park. Very first Braves home run 2019?
Correct.
Austin Riley?
No.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
2019 team.
2019. Tyler Flowers.
No. And it wasn't Mike Fultonevich, I'll tell you that. It's another hint.
Who in the world?
Don't copyright me.
Adam Duvall. No, not Adam Duvall.
I mean, it could have been.
No, it's not Adam, is it?
No.
I was gonna say it's not Adam Duvall. We didn't even have Adam Duvall.
Hey,
Actually, no. You said it was
no,
the
we
first
did-
home run. We did
Oh,
have
yeah.
him at that point, but not at the beginning of the year.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have no clue.
He shares a name with, or he shares a first name of the current Atlanta Braves first baseman.
Matt Adams.
No.
Matt.
Oh no.
Matt. Why am I blanking?
Oh no. You can't be doing this. You can't be serious. Come on now.
Dude, I am blanking. I am blanking. I have no clue.
Oh no. You literally know his first name.
Matt. It's not Matt. Matt Kemp. But was Matt Kemp on the team? Was Matt Kemp on the team?
I can't believe we're running a Braves.
Matt Kemp is in 2017. I'm done.
No, it's not Matt Kemp.
Matt.
This might be. This is going on the TikTok.
I have no clue.
It's Matt Joyce.
Oh. Yeah, I wasn't gonna get that one.
How could you forget Matt Joyce?
I don't know.
Oh, he also has a similar swing to Matt Olson, but whew. How could you not get Matt Joyce? But okay, we'll end the episode on it. So, follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Of course, check out SeatGeek and email us as well. That would be much appreciated as well. So until next time, my name is David Waters.
And I'm Luke Hardin.
Thank you all for listening. And we'll catch you all in the next episode of Talking Braves. See y'all.
Peace, guys.
Delivers and a high fly ball wallop deep right field. That one's not coming back. And Matt Joyce hits one into the second deck. And Atlanta has taken the lead on a solo home run.
There we go. There's an early lead. Get some runs on the board early and relax a little bit. Matt Joyce just continuing to do what he does when he gets a start.